This is level O, list 10, and we're doing the day 1 page. And in this list, we're looking at the IE making the E sound. And down here, we're doing OU for the up sound. So let's go through and highlight those phonograms. So we've got IE, field, yield, shield, chief, thief, piece. So I before E, except after C, where the sound is E. So don't forget that last bit. Niece. Then we're going to change colours because we're changing to a different phonogram, and we've got touch, k-utzen, k-apple, and k-untry. Okay, let's go back and look at some of the other things we can see happening in these words. So we've got the SH for the sh, we've got CH for the ch sound, TH for the th sound. We're using CE for s at the end of piece, and niece, where the C and the E is making the C make its soft sound s. We've got CH on the end of touch. Cousin, the S there is making it z sound. Couple, P is a stop consonant, so we always use LE after a stop consonant. And back here you can also have a look. If we have a C followed by an O, we know it's making its kut sound. So that's why we have that C there, cousin and couple, and country as well. Got the C followed by an O, so we know to use a C for the kut sound before an O. Country, the E sound on the end of a word, you know, is usually just a Y. There are thousands of words that end in Y for the long E sound at the end of a word. Okay, let's go back and look at what these words mean. So field is often a large open space of land that would be used for farming or for sporting, like a cricket field or a soccer field, etc. And it could also be used for something like a snowfield where people might go skiing. A shield, shield can be both a verb and a noun, so we can protect ourselves with a shield, and you can shield something from getting damaged or hurt. So this is a shield that they used to have in the olden days to go into battle to help protect themselves, and to also quite often it identified who was on which side. Sometimes today when you win something you get a shield, so your team might win the shield for the sports carnival, etc. So it can also be a type of trophy. A chief is the leader of a group. A thief is usually implying that someone's a robber or they've stolen something that doesn't belong to them. Now this piece means a part of. You can also have piece spelled like this, which means something different. It means the opposite to war. So if someone is at peace or a country is at peace, it means that everyone's happy and getting along quite nicely together, and yes, it's a nice place to be. Or something could be peaceful, which means that it would be a very calming space. Niece is the siblings of a female child, so niece implies it's female. So if you have a brother or a sister and they have a child that's a girl, then you would call them your niece. Touch means to contact something usually with your hands, but it could be with any part of your body. A cousin is your auntie and uncle's children. They would be your cousins. A couple could be anything referring to two. It could be two people, or it could be a couple of things, like we're going to go for a walk for a couple of kilometres, or we have a couple of ice creams, or it could be anything referring to two. Country could be a large mass of land. And it could be also referring to the country area where farming and things happens as opposed to the city, and it could also mean a part of a land which is run by a separate government to other parts of the land. Now let's go back and read the words, sound the words and spell them. So we've got field, 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 F-I-E-L-D, F-I-E-L-D, F-I-E-L-D. And to cover it and write it, so you do your F. You've got to use the bar as the upstroke, field. Go over for the D and come back around. Level O, list 10, and we're doing the day 2 page, and here we've got the IE making the long E sound and the OU making the up sound, short up sound. So the words are field, shield, chief, thief, piece, niece. So you might know the rule I before E except after C where the sound is E is the important bit, that last bit at the end. Then we've got, for the up sound, we've got touch, cousin, couple and country. So let's go through and have a look at anything else in those words that we need to be aware of. We've got the SH in shield, the CH in chief, the TH in thief, CE, we know that makes the C make its soft sound S there. I'll just go over that in something you can see. Same with niece, you've got the CE making that sound at the end of that word. Touch, you've got the CH, cousin, we give that a bit of a grunt sound, you've got to remember it's IN at the end then. Couple, because P is a stop sound, you're going to add LE after that for the UL sound. So that would, if we're splitting that word, we would split it, that P has to stick to the LE on the end of it. Country, we know that the E sound on the end of a word is usually a Y. There are thousands of words that we use a Y for the E sound at the end of. There's only about 10 or 20 that you would commonly use that end in EY. So if you don't know, go for the Y. Okay, let's go back and read the word, sound the word, spell them. So we've got field, E-uld, F-I-E-L-D. Cover it and we'll practice our running writing again. So we do the loop, long stick, up for the I, loop for the E, up for the L, over for the D, and then go back and dot the I when you've finished. You can read, sound, spell those and write those words on your own. Now down here we've got write a list word that means part or portion of course would be a piece. Protect or shelter, you'd have to find a word that means that, would be shield. My sibling's female child, you can work out these, robber and a major leader. So what is a field? A field is a large green stretch of land that stock might be on a farm. A shield is something that warriors use to protect themselves with, or you could also be awarded a shield if your team wins a sports event. A chief is usually the leader of a group. A thief is a robber. A piece is a part of something. A niece, your mother and father would call the female children of their brothers and sisters their niece. Touch is when you touch something with your hand. Now your cousin is the male or female children of your auntie and uncle. You'd call them your cousin. A couple means two, and a country is a large area of land which has a government to control it. Now let's have a look. This part here, you have to write a list word that means part or portion, protect, shelter. You can read those and write those words in. Fill the gap with the list word, and then you have to rewrite the sentence here. So use that opportunity to practice that running writing that you're trying to master at the moment. Synonyms are words that mean the same, so you've got to find a list word that means the same as robber, feel and pair. Homophones are words that sound the same but are spelt differently and they mean different things. So we've got piece and piece. We've talked about this piece before, and in this list we're looking at this other piece. So you should know what they mean, and then you've got to use them correctly in those two sentences. This is level O, list 10, and we're doing the day 3 page. And in this page we're revising the E sound represented by IE. So I before E except after C where the sound is E is the important part. So we've got field, shield, chief, thief, piece, niece. Then we've got the OU making the up sound in touch, cousin, couple, country. So let's have a look. We've got the SH in shield, the CH in chief, the TH in thief, CE makes the sound at the end of that word, and on niece as well. We've got CH in on touch, cuz in, just remember it's IN at the end. The P is a stop consonant, so we're using LE after the stop consonant because it stops as soon as you say it. And you know that the E sound on the end of a word is usually a Y. We use a C before an O for the K sound. And I think we've covered everything there. Now, antonyms mean find the opposite to these words. Combined with the list word, we're looking for common word pairs. So you're going to use one of the list words to make these common word pairs here. Plurals, that means these words are nouns. So to make them mean more than one, you usually add an S to the end of them. But just be careful because like countries, if a word ends in Y, you must change the Y to an I before you add the ES. Thieves, some words end in F, you must change the F to a V before you add the ES. If you hear is at the end of a word, touches, then you know you're going to have to write ES for those ones. So you might need to discuss those. Verb families, here you're adding the S, you've got the base word here you're adding the ing, and here you're adding the ed for the end. So ed can make those three sounds, id, d, t, but you know you're writing ed. Now down here, all you have to do is replace the word in brackets with a list word. So you're going to use these words to replace one of those words to replace land in this sentence. Then we want you to write the word in its complete form there. It's a good opportunity to get some flow happening and use your running writing to do that. This is level O, list 10, and we're doing the day 4 page on using commas. So we can use commas for two things. We can use it to separate items in a list, or we can also use it to give a little bit of extra information in a sentence that we don't have to put in, that we've just offered the reader. Okay, so use commas to separate words in a list, and not a comma must be added before the last word in the list. So let's have a look at that here. I'm going to pick this one here because this is the shortest one. 3 grains you could grow in a field. So I might put oats, then I have to put a comma. Then I might put wheat. Now because I only have to give 3, before the last word in my list I put and. I don't put a comma, I just put the word and my last thing will be barley. Okay, there's my 3 things. So commas up until the last word, and then before the last word you put an and. Now down here, this is the other reason that we use commas in sentences. Add the commas to the bracketed expression in each sentence. So the bracketed expression means the little bit of information we don't really need, but we've added it to make it more interesting for the reader, or to give the reader a little bit of extra information. A longboard, we could say, is really good for skating down hills. A longboard is really good for skating down hills, but the little bit of extra information I've given is, for example, is the bracketed expression. So we'd have to put a comma either side of that. A longboard, for example, is really good for skating down hills. My new school, I have heard, has a huge gymnasium. So we don't really need I have heard in there. So we put the comma before and after that. So you know you change your voice a bit when you say that, and you know that that's just a little bit of information that you're offering the reader. See if you can work out these ones on your own. You might find it easier to highlight the words that could be taken out of that sentence if you needed to, and then put your comma either side of that, as I have.